Today I'll share with you how I reused an outdated and worn out front porch planting to create a fresh new look for our front entry door. It's inexpensive and adds a lot of class and curb appeal to any home. Several years ago, I made these small front porch planter boxes using upcycled material. In a previous life, they had been part of a twin bed frame, then a closet organizer drawer. I tacked everything together with nails, then quickly discovered I should have used screws. Unfortunately, I made that discovery too late. Lesson learned, use screws on everything that holds weight. Now I'm ready for a fresh start. I still love my little boxwood topiary trees with solar-powered fairy lights, and I want to reuse the river pebbles that anchored them into their boxes. The great thing about early spring is you can find all kinds of planters on sale. I picked up a couple of stone gray colored ones for a great price. I have discovered unpopular colors are often marked at lower prices. This is an excellent opportunity to customize your steal of a deal. Using spray paint formulated for plastic surfaces, you can inexpensively change the color of many outdoor items. I wanted my entryway decor to match our front door. This meant spraying the large plastic planters with Rustoleum hammered dark bronze metallic spray paint. It's convenient because it's suitable for multiple surfaces. I used the same paint on my vinyl shutters and wooden front door. The paint has held up well for several years outside in all kinds of weather. I was a little timid using the paint outside at first, but it has proven its staying power. I am sold on this stuff now. My round plastic planters have a rough texture on the outside, which is ideal for better paint adhesion. If you fall in love with an inexpensive, smooth planter on the outer surface, you can always rough the outside up with medium grit sandpaper. Always brush off the dust, rinse it, and allow it to dry before using spray paint. I turned the planters upside down on the grass and began painting them from the bottom up. This way, the bottom will dry first, allowing me to set them upright on a surface sooner. There is a correct way to use spray paint. It takes a little practice, but for more uniform coverage, you should spray in short bursts across the length of your project. You want to pull or push the spray trigger just before misting the project with paint and keep it down until you are off the other side of the project. It's also important to shake the can several times during application. This is true with any spray paint, but especially the case with metallic finish paint. It has millions of tiny sparkly particles that may settle in the bottom of the can and never reach the surface of your project. Shake it vigorously and often for the most accurate paint color result. After the bottoms of my planters were sufficiently covered and dry to the touch, I flipped them over to begin working on the outer sides. Repeat the back and forth swiping motion. Your goal isn't complete coverage at this point, but rather an even coating. Several thin layers of spray paint are always better than a few thick ones. This prevents drips and streaking. When you're happy with the coverage on the sides, you can move on to the top of the planters. I always like to paint the top inner edges as well. This keeps everything looking uniform even after the planter contents settle. Check your spray paint directions for applying additional layers. The instructions often advise top coating before the project is entirely dry. Keep going over the visible surfaces in short sweeping strokes until the color is uniform to your liking. I placed the planters on a small bench to overcoat the bottom sides. It made it much easier on my back. It also helps to see the planters at eye level from a distance. When you plan outside decor, remember it's most often viewed from a distance. Take at least a few steps back from your decor to see if you like how it looks. I used 1.5 cans of spray paint total for both planters. A great tip is wearing long dishwashing gloves while painting. Otherwise, the paint has a way of sticking to your nails, skin, and even arm hair. If you do get some on you, I'll share an easy trick for getting it off at the end of this video. I made sure the planters were thoroughly dry before moving them to my front porch entry. It's important to place them close to where you'll keep them once they are finished. The pond, pebbles, and rocks will add a lot of weight, making it difficult to relocate them once they are completed. Now it was time to disassemble my old, worn-out planter boxes. I placed several inches of my repurposed pond pebbles to fill the bottom of my freshly painted round planter. Wear thick leather gloves when working with stone, especially if it's used stone. Gloves protect you from bumps, bruises, and jabs, and may save you from an insect or spider bite. We have black widows and brown recluse in our area. Black widows love hiding in dark, rocky places. I'm not willing to risk shaking hands with one. Once I had a few inches of gravel in the bottom of my planter, I checked my little potted faux boxwood, ensuring the smaller pot would be hidden below the top surface of my new planter. I don't advise using anything other than stone to fill your entrance planters. Stone easily drains and dries and won't make a mess by splashing soil onto your brick or siding. If you are planting live greenery or flowers, it's always a good idea to top off your soil with at least 2 inches of stone. I always add stone to the bottom of live plants to facilitate drainage. Front porch plantings need the weight added with stone. Wind, rain, people, and animals passing by can easily shift, spill, and destroy front porch decor. I kept the faux boxwood in its original planter to anchor it in the gravel. The more meat you have under the pebbles, the less likely it is to shift or blow away outside. Once I had my faux plant relatively level, I added the solar panel that powers the white fairy lights. The panel is attached to a landscaping stake that will be deeply anchored in by river pebble. You can see how I turned the pot, distributing the stone evenly between the two planters. The handprints you see here brush right off. It's just pebble dust. Keep filling the container until stones or pebbles surround the inner pot. Double check that your planting is level and centered in the pot. Then add pebbles to cover the top of the inner pot, bringing the rocks up to the same level as the top lip of the outer planter. You can see how the bottom of my old planter fell out to release the remaining gravel. It had a good, useful life. And here is where I reiterate the use of good quality leather gloves. I think that spider was large enough to hear its breathing. Yikes! Repeat the process on your second planter. It's always a good idea to use this opportunity to clean up the newly exposed area of the patio and wall. Brush away cobwebs, sweep and blow away accumulated debris. I also suggest scrubbing the patio surface before settling your fresh patio decor into place. Water, dish soap, and a stiff brush on a handle will do the trick. Make the most of your solar-powered lights by angling them in the direction of the longest exposure and the highest concentration of sun. Here's my trick for getting spray paint off your hands in case you accidentally did that. It's quick, safe, simple, and very inexpensive. Keep in mind that like usually removes like. Water-based paint is easily removed by water and soap. Oil-based paint, like most spray paint, requires oil for removal. I pour a little extra virgin olive oil on a paper towel and rub it over the paint spots on my skin. The paint releases and wipes away. Then I wash the oil off with soap and water. Easy peasy. Now step back and admire your fresh, welcoming entry plantings. Rest assured they aren't blowing away. Enjoy years of curb appeal and seasonal pleasure. I have added small wooden ornaments for charm and nostalgia for the Christmas season. The great thing about green plantings is you can add seasonal color. Pansies, daisies, petunias, or pumpkins are fantastic additions. I hope you found the video helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe to say thank you and to keep videos coming your way. I'll see you next time. God bless.